Hi guys, so today I will take you through a back workout and hamstrings. I will just use the equipment here at my workplace's little gym, and so it's very simple back workout but effective nonetheless. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so starting out here at my back workout here is just a leg pull down. When I'm using this machine, it's a very simple machine as you see. But when I'm using leg pull down, then I just focus on have my scapula contracted at the beginning of the movement, and just giving the lats a nice stretch, and also the teres major muscles, which are the upper part of what most people thinks are the lats. And of course now I shirt off, and you can also enjoy my farmer's tan. So as I say often, I'm not the biggest guy, but I do have some muscle mass and I do have some detail. So now when I'm a 30-year-old dad, then I'm just trying to be mostly functional, but also just keep a somewhat nice and lean fat percentage, which I am pretty happy about. So that is why I also just took my shirt off, because I do work a little bit for it, And a different angle here you see. I usually just go for like 8 to 12 repetitions here, and I'm not the strongest person that let pull down, and I have never tried to be. I've always had an okay back, okay depth and okay width. So I've not tried to adjust anything, because I didn't think it needed adjustment. So just 8 to 12 whips and 3 working sets. And just a little, back pose. So now to just putting some weight on a bar, you see, I am going to do a bend over row. This is one of my least favorite exercises to back, because I feel like the leg drive, the legs are just giving a little bit up on this exercise. I am just trying to be almost parallel to the floor and just pulling with my elbows. But yeah, I use a little bit of my I do focus a little bit more on just staying still while I do the movement. So yeah, and when I do almost every back movement, actually, I always just think of my hands as some clamps, like hinges. They are just on. They do not do the pulling. They are just and they are just on there, and then I have to pull with my elbows just back and contract back. So yeah, of course, the shirt off again, just to show off that I do have a little bit of muscle mass left. Doing some decent controlled whips. Could be better, but in the moment I can feel it very nicely, and then I just do the movement. Now for one of the exercises I really like is actually a chest supported dumbbell row, where I use 2 dumbbells here. These dumbbells, since they are just of plastic, then they are a little bit big, and that restricts the movement a little bit, and yeah, I do not like that when they are that big. I want them to be a little bit smaller and a little bit heavier, and yeah, you just see a different angle. Boom. A lot of people actually have trouble getting a good back, but that is just because they cannot see their back when they are training, so they have a harder time focusing on their back. That problem I've never had like that. I have also always had a very nice focus and some good contractions, on the back. But we're all different there, and a lot of people actually have problems with that. When you are training arms, when you're training shoulders, when you're training even chest, then you can look in the mirror and focus a little bit on that. But with the back, you cannot do the same. You cannot look at the contraction while you are making it. So it can be a little bit more difficult. But if you just try to use your hands as hinges, as I told earlier, and then just pull with the elbows. And now for a hyper extension. Is that what it's called? I think it's called that. But yeah, here I am also getting some lower back, but when I'm doing this exercise, actually, because I have to do some hamstring work as well, then when I'm doing this exercise, I actually try to get a very nice stretch in the hamstring when I get all the way down, just like a Romanian deadlift. And then I just try to squeeze my glutes on the way up. So I actually try to pull with the glutes, if that makes sense. That is just a very nice variation to the Romanian deadlift, in my opinion. I like this much better. And just a little bit more weight on there as well. But of course you also use your lower back to do the movement, so I also get a lot of back here as well. But mostly hamstrings and glutes focused. So what are we doing now? What are we doing now? Adjusting the pants, yes. Taking the dumbbell. And here I am doing a pullover exercise. I like to do that in the cables, but we do not have cables here which can support this exercise. So I'm just doing it with a dumbbell. Just trying to get all the way down and get a good stretch. I just get some good movement here. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Those lats. And that is the thing I'm just focused on there on this exercise, just stretching the lats. Using some shoulder flexion. Actually. Because that's the main part of what the lats do. And just a little bit more weight, and as I said earlier, this weight is just humongous, because it's plastic, it's not the heaviest. So it can be a little bit tricky to actually handle when it's that big. And just here we have a little bit heavier weight. I think this is like 32 kilograms. I used to do this also as a chest movement because you can also just see the chest is working. But of course the chest are also a part of this movement as well, especially in the stretch, but yeah, it didn't seem to grow my chest that much, and I got a lot more shoulder pain because that time I was stronger, so I had a lot more kilograms on it, and the shoulders had to do a lot of the work as well, and I didn't like that. So there was better exercises for some shoulder health. And almost done with that exercise. Then I think it's the hamstrings next. Not hamstrings. Nope. We do some shrugs. So it's a lot of back movements and trapezius, but I just like to have some variation and some more exercises to actually show you. So when I do the shrugs, a lot of people only focus on the concentric part of the movement, the squeeze and top. But the thing that I focus on the most is actually the eccentric part as well, because the stretch you can get in the trapezius is just, mind blowing. It's a wild squeeze you can get, stretch you can get in the trapezius. So you can see it just come down slowly and just hold the stretch for a quick second. And just finish off with a couple of reps. So now for the hamstrings. On the first set here, I placed my knees a little bit incorrectly, so it was a little bit awkward. So we're gonna get all the way up. This machine in itself does not have very good movement range of motion, but I can, in set number 2 and 3, I do get further up in than this. And now you can just see set number 2, I just place my knees a little bit differently. So now I can get up, get a much better squeeze. But not perfect, I want to get a little bit further up, but not much. I do not want to get the tension of the muscle, but I just want to get a little bit further up to get a very good squeeze, but this machine does not allow that completely. But it's a very good machine just for being a multi-machine, So that's actually quite nice. We can do this. Just another angle. I do like to have quite a few angles on my movements here, just so you can see where you have to have foot placements or whatever. Just make it a little bit more interesting to look at, in my opinion. And yeah, just training in my work pants. and squeeze on the last rep here. Done. So here I'm just doing a Romanian deadlift, and that is much of the other exercise on the hyperextension machine that I said before. But because I do have so little equipment here at the gym, I would just like to do these as well, just because the opportunity was there, and there was also just some weight on the bar. And without this shirt, of course, for some reason. It's very important to see for this exercise. The thing about this exercise as well is also just, it also is a deadlift variation, and I also like to have a deadlift in sometimes. Also just for the lower back, and I can feel it a little bit different in the hamstrings, so yeah, it was just a decision I made, and I liked it at this workout, you know. If I had some other machines, I would probably do something different. And of most of my workouts, I actually also just do some abs in the end, just to finish you off. I would like to do a cable crunch, but since I do not have a cable machine that allows that, and the equipment, then I would just do some crunches here. And without this shirt again, And I think I said this in a different video, but this light in here is not very flattering. So if I am in a different light, then I will look a little bit more lean, then my abdominals will show a little bit more. I'm not extremely whipped at all, it's not what I'm saying, it's just like I'm a little bit leaner than it looks here, in my opinion. And now just for the final product of all these years of semi-hard work. Just showing off some back gains, some arms, some good old farmer tan in the neck. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe got tired, got some good relaxation, and hopefully sleep.